Hey everyone, I'm back with another video here. I'm gonna make this little video of my thoughts about the Jurassic Park series. I know it might be a little late, because Fallen Kingdom came out like what, 4 months ago. And I was gonna do a video after I saw it, but I've just been, as if you saw my other video, I've just been really busy in the past months. I've had a lot going on, so yeah, sorry it didn't come sooner than now, but hey, I guess better late than never, I guess. Okay, well, and also my ranking, I don't like doing, my least favorite in any particular, these are not really in any particular order, just I'm going to go through them each and tell you my thoughts of each one. And you may agree, disagree, you probably will. But hey, everyone has their own opinion of this series, I guess. So yeah, here we go. Okay, first one we have, of course, the original from 1993, the original Jurassic Park. This year, celebrating its 25th anniversary this year too. And Fallen Kingdom appropriately came out this year to celebrate it, I suppose. But anyway, my thought of the original 93 film, I agree with everyone. It's definitely the best of the entire series. I wasn't around. I wasn't even born yet when this film came out, but I know it was such a landmark film when it came out. It was such a smash hit. It definitely deserves all the praise it's gotten. And yeah, it's definitely the effects pretty much have held up well over 25 years now. And that hands down, I really enjoy everything about it. I enjoy the actors. They all do a good job. The effects, like I said, really still hold up well. I really like the story. And I just really like the suspense, the action, and the score. Scores used in all 5 films. I think the John Williams theme is an iconic theme. One of the best themes I think ever made for a film. And overall, it just does a really good job of, you really feel like you're there, in my opinion, Like, you really feel, like, you watch the film, you really feel like I know it's a dangerous place, but it just is, so cool to experience, though, really watching it, And overall, hey, and that's the thing about the sequels, how much of a smash hit, box office smash this thing was. You kind of knew there was going to be a sequel, which leads to 1997's, I always call it Jurassic Park 2 The Lost World. I always call it like that. I don't know why they call it The Lost World first. My opinion, I'm in the group of people. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about this film. Some like it, some think it's alright, but some just hate it. I don't know where I put myself, but I just don't care for this one at all, really. It has some good stuff. First, I'll say what I do like. I do like some of the returning cast, like I can't believe I forget the name. John, his name John, I think. Malcolm, no, not as Ian. That's Goldblum's character. God, I forget. I'm so terrible with names sometimes, but I like how he returns the older guy for a brief moment. I like how Goldblum's back. And I like how the kids from the original film, I like them, they were pretty good actors too, the original, but it was cool seeing 4 years later, because it was 1997, cool 4 years later you see them grown up 4 years. It's kind of cool to see them grow up a bit, But I do agree with people, I really don't like that gymnastics scene. It's really overly silly. When I was watching this, I watched all previous 4 films before I saw Fallen Kingdom this year. I struggled to get through this film. I mean, I thought it really moves at a way, way too slow of a pace. I remember, struggling to get through it. I had to pause it quite a few times. I'm like, ugh, man, can this move forward a bit more, Some things I do like, though, about it. Like I said, I do like that trailer scene with the 2 T-Rexes when the trailer's dangling over the cliff. Julianne Moore falls on it. Vince Vaughn, Julianne Moore, they're all right with what they have to work with. They're good characters, but they're not enough to really carry the film for me. Um, but like the scene with the trailer dangling, I thought that was really well done. I like the two T Rexes, terrorizing them at the same time, and the glass breaking and the thing, and they all, and of course, the scene is well done, and well shot. I'll admit too, but and of course, I like the ending scene, of course, with the T Rex rampaging through San Diego. I like how they did do something different. Having a dinosaur run loose in the city. I'll admit that was pretty well. That was pretty well done. That whole scene. Yeah, it was a little goofy at times, but I'll admit it was overall pretty well done. But the big problem with the film is I think it was just very slow. I felt like watching it. I felt like I'm waiting for stuff to happen, but I felt like it took forever for stuff to happen in a film. I get the story, with the trying to do something with the dinosaurs, I guess, but thought it wasn't very interesting. But and the other scene I do like. I like the scene when they're running through the grass and the raptors start picking off people. That was pretty, that was kind of terrifying and cool. And the scene I do like the other scene with the waterfall when they all run into the cave. The guy gets scared by a snake. He goes out, but the T-Rex eats him. And then you see the blood flow through the waterfall. You see blood, like the water turns red with his blood. Like the waterfall turns like a bloody waterfall. That was creepy, but it was pretty creative, I'll admit. But the biggest problem with the film, if you cut maybe 20 minutes, it goes on. I say it's too long for what it is. If they cut maybe 20 minutes, I thought it was mostly just filler, too fillery for me. Like, if they cut maybe 20 minutes out of the film, it might have been turned out a little better. But I guess the film still ended up being a bit of a success anyway, because they did 4 years later, they did Jurassic Park 3 from 2001. I know a lot of people really hate this movie, but might be an unpopular opinion here, but I kind of liked it better than Lost World. Why? I mean, yeah, it's a lot shorter. It's only like 90, 100 minutes long. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'll admit, yeah, it's pretty short, but it's much quicker paced. It really goes. I remember watching it. I really didn't struggle to get through it, really. I thought it was pretty fast paced for the most part. And problems with the film, I do agree with people. The biggest problem is that dumb dream sequence when with the raptor talking. Yeah, it was a little overly goofy. What they should have done was I mean, I would have kept the dream sequence in, but keep the raptor silent. He looks over, the raptor doesn't say anything, it just stares at him, then he wakes up. If it just stared at him, it would have been better. But having him talk was kind of a little was a little too dumb for its own good, I'll admit. And I do agree with people how T.A. Leone's character does scream a bit too much. I mean, yeah, they're dinosaurs being chased, of course you're screamed, but I think she was really, like, I agree with people saying, hearing her scream so much kind of got really grating really quick. They could have trimmed some of her screaming out. And I'll admit, the little thing that was dumb was the guy, you think he gets killed by the pterodactyl. You're like, there's no way he would have lived through that. You find out he's still alive, he's fine. Even when I was watching it, I was like, really? How'd you survive that? But overall, I do like how they brought Sam Neill and Laura Dern back in it. I would have liked to see Jeff Goldblum still back. It's a shame he wasn't in it. I would like to see the kids again, seeing them even more grown up. That would have been cool. It's a shame we didn't get to see them back. Shame Spielberg didn't direct this one, because he did do Lost World. not sure how it turned out that way because he directed it, but it should have turned out better than it was. But I also really liked that introduced the pterodactyls. Thought that was pretty cool. Finally, because I don't think we saw them in the first two. I don't think so. It was cool seeing them in it, and a lot of people have a problem with the Spinosaurus um, killing off one of one. I don't think it was the main T Rex from the original, but T Rex and Spinosaurus does the T Rex. Does it get one of them? If I watch the scene again, what happens? I know one of them gets killed. The T Rex does kill one of them or something, but it does get a couple hits, and then it kills the T Rex. I mean, it was unexpected, but a lot of people really hate that. I mean, really, I see people like online completely rip that scene apart. No pun intended. Rip that scene apart with the Spinosaurus, killing off the Rex. But I mean, yeah, it was surprising, but I thought it was interesting showing like, hey, you thought the T Rex was the biggest threat. Not anymore. I mean, I did like what they tried to do, showing that, hey, there's a new big boss, if you want to say that, I like how they try something new. Was it a little unexpected? Yeah, I didn't really mind it that much. I was like, oh, man, guess there's something bigger, Oh, they thought that, oh, you don't have to worry about the Rex, you have to worry about this thing now. And overall, I just thought it was really quick paced, the film. It's really quick paced. And overall, didn't mind it, except for those few little flaws that I said earlier. So overall, I'm in the majority. I'm sorry, I'm in the minority here when I say definitely, I would never put it over one. Never put anyone over one. But still, I overall thought it was just an overall fun film. I thought it was just pretty entertaining, and it kept me going. Unlike Lost World, like I said, Lost World, I really struggled to get through, and I really struggled. I mean, the characters here, yeah, they could be a little better developed, but I mean, we have William H. Macy in it too. He did fine. A couple other ones did fine, but overall, I don't think I wouldn't give it all the hate it gets. Yeah, I wouldn't. But then after this, Jurassic Park went on a major hiatus for the next 14 years. I mean, the film was still a pretty good success at the box office, but they did the fourth film. I remember hearing talks about. Oh, hold on, I'll get to it now. And then we get to 2015's Jurassic World. Now, I remember as early as 2009 hearing talks that they were going to do a fourth Jurassic Park movie. But it took but little did I know, I would have to wait 6 more years to see it. I don't think they even had a script yet in 2009, but I remember hearing talks that, oh, they're going to do a fourth film. Okay, but a few years went by and I didn't really hear much. They just said, oh, it's going to happen. And then they said certain writers were hired, directors and all. Who wasn't directing, was Spielberg, I guess, but producing, I guess. He confirmed. I remember that in 2012 they finally said, okay, it wasn't called Jurassic World yet, though. It was just known as Jurassic Park 4. And I remember hearing such as they had the script probably mostly ready. It was going to be 2012. I remember hearing it was going to come out in 2015. So it finally got a release date, And when I saw it, I'll admit, I was pretty surprised by it. I was like, this is pretty good. I mean, yeah, it definitely couldn't top the first one, but I like the cast: Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Vincent D'Onofrio, B.D. Wong. I like how he was back in it for the original. But the plot, I'll admit the one flaw I do have with it is the plot. Not that it's a bad thing, but I do feel like Um, the Indominus Rex escaping, causing havoc. Yeah, I'll admit it's what I don't like is it's a little too much of a rehash of the original in that aspect. You know, the dinosaur running loose, and it kind of borrowed from Lost World with the T Rex running loose in San Diego. So I'll admit maybe wasn't the most original plot line, but I'll admit it had some good suspenseful scenes, some terrifying scenes when it attacks the although it kind of did copy from the original when it attacks the boys in the sphere was a callback to the original when the T Rex bites through the car. Um, and then the other scenes when the pterodactyls are picking people off in the crowd, they're picking them up and all that. And then I'll admit the one scene was pretty terrifying. It's like, whoa, that was brutal. That was even brutal. The brutalest part was when the girl gets carried by over the water by the pterodactyl, and that giant fish thing. I don't know its name. The giant dino shark. Oh, I call it dino shark. Comes out of the water, eats her and the pterodactyl. So you're thinking, oh, the pterodactyl's probably gonna kill her somehow. You know, drop her, throw her somewhere. But nope, the thing comes out and eats both of them. I'll admit that was a pretty well done, intense, terrifying, but well done scene. And the cast, like I said, I know a lot of people really don't like the kids in it. I didn't have much of a problem with them. And some people have a problem with the with Pratt talking to the Raptors. I have mixed feelings. Like, yeah, maybe it's a little new. I was a little odd at first, but I know Rambler After Life. He's a YouTuber. Look him up. He really didn't care for this one at all. He really didn't care much for this one. I mean, you can look him up. He just didn't care for it. I mean, he had a problem with the Raptors. And then even the Indominus Rex, I kind of agree with people saying how it can camouflage itself. And I will admit to a degree that that is a little how it was meant to be an exhibit. You know, like a site, you know, people would say, oh, the Indominus Rex. But if it can camouflage itself, what's the point of having an exhibit? You know, if it sees if it sees people coming, it can just camouflage itself so it doesn't want to be seen. So what's the point of having an exhibit if it could just make itself invisible? And who's going to see it? And I will admit that that is a little odd, kind of a little silly. But the Rex, I'll admit, was pretty freaking terrifying. And then I like how it outsmarts them by, they think because they put a tracking device in it, they think they can track wherever it went. But it digs it out of itself, so it knows, because if it's dug out, you can't track it. And I'll admit that was pretty terrifying, thinking you have this thing on the loose and now you don't even know where it is. And of course, I love the battle at the end when they bring in the T Rex and Blue, the Pratt's Raptor. I'll admit that was pretty cool. And then the other guy gets his desserts, getting killed by the Raptor, because he was kind of like a jackass, D'Onofrio's character, so you kind of saw that coming, but still. I really do like the ending scene, though. Whoops, that was the last one I want. So I really do like the ending scene when the Blue and the T-Rex team up to fight Indominus Rex. There's a couple of scenes that look like they're gonna get killed, but Indominus gets interrupted. And I like how, spoiler alert, to mute it now if you don't want to hear it, although it's been out a few years, everyone probably knows the ending. I like how the Indominus Rex gets defeated. Because you're thinking, oh, how's it going to get defeated? Because they're both fighting him. Rex and Blue are both fighting him. But you're wondering, how are they going to kill it? And then they get near the pond where the thing is. The dino shark was. The dino shark jumps out, grabs Indominus Rex, pulls him in the water, and the sequel basically confirms he's dead because you see his bones at the bottom, so it's confirmed he's dead. I'll admit that was cool how Dino Shark isn't really an important character, if you want to call it character, in the film, but I do like how he's ultimately the one that basically saves the day in the end. But that was a pretty nice twist. And then, of course, the way it ends, they wonder what's going to happen now, which leads to the sequel that came out this year, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. First of all, I do like how it deals with the aftermath of what happened with the Indominus Rex and the Dactyls. They get loose, because what happened was, I forgot to mention the original because they crashed and they got loose. But it's maybe I'll review them. I don't know. But we'll look it up. Fine. What am I saying? But I like the how it deals with the aftermath of the events of the original, and I like though how it's just abandoned again. It's funny how history repeats itself. The original park, hell broke loose. It was abandoned. This time all hell broke loose. Abandoned again. Funny how history repeats itself. But I liked how this one there's the added danger of the volcano. Because I like how that kind of adds to the peril in it, and I like how Jeff Goldblum is back in this one. I'll admit that was pretty cool bringing him back. And I do like how this time, if that, because they're trying to escape the volcano. I like how when it, that's like the added peril. Like, not only do they have to get Blue out, I think, they have to get a few dinosaurs out, not because of a dinosaur per se, well, maybe if you want to count a few of them, but because it's not the threat, the big threat this time. I like how they changed up. The threat this time isn't really the dinosaurs. It kind of still is, but I like how the threat is more so the volcano that could erupt likely anytime soon. And I like that, it added in an extra antagonist, if you want to call it. Volcano antagonist, I guess. But, overall, and then the one scene everybody was like, when I was watching that scene in the theater, I remember I was just felt like really kind of sad. That scene when the Brachiosaurus, when they're leaving the island, the volcano erupts, they're leaving the island, with the dinos, I think. The one they couldn't save was the Brachiosaurus, and if you looked up online, they confirmed that was the same Brachiosaurus you saw in the original. So it was oddly fitting that the first one on the island you see is also the last one on the island you see. And that was well done. It was really, I remember thinking like, damn, that was one of the most iconic dinos of the original, the Brachiosaurus. And now you're watching it perish. So I'll admit that was pretty intense, and it was kind of sad. I remember on Twitter people were just like really losing it online. I remember people said like, oh, it was heartbreaking. And I could see why it gave him the feels. To see why. I like his cast also had James Cromwell in it. He did pretty good. And I like how the antagonist also, they introduced the Indoraptor. It was basically DNA from the Indominus Rex and a Velociraptor. And I'll admit, the design is pretty darn cool. This thing's terrifying too. Like, yeah, it's smaller than the Indominus Rex. Indominus Rex was pretty damn big. The Indoraptor is basically almost the size of a Velociraptor, but it has like all these freaky looks and colors to it. All these weird scales to it. Looks really creepy. But it's just as terrifying, pretty much. And I'll admit, they did a good job designing that Indoraptor. And a lot of people have a problem with the little spoiler alert, how the girl you find out is a clone. Because you find out the real version of her died in a car accident years ago. And I'll admit that was a little unexpected. Remember I heard it, I was like, huh? It was a little odd. I heard it, I was like, well, that's new, I'll give some people saying for Jurassic Park, bringing in human cloning is a little odd. But I didn't really have that much of a problem with it. Although, I kind of see why people were mad at the end when she let the dinos run free. I'll admit that was a little... I kind of was like, why? Letting these things run loose now, and at the end they say, dinosaurs living amongst us, what are we going to do? Which basically paves the way for a third Jurassic World, which is probably going to come in a few years. But I can understand why she let him free, but I thought it was. I'm kind of torn between it. I could understand, and then I'm also torn between agreeing with people saying. Some say, yeah, I can understand why. Others say it was stupid. I'm on the fence. I really don't have a clear answer, though, I guess. But I will also admit that the one guy was a little annoying at times. The guy that was always screaming. Same like Tammy, like, I'll agree that, yeah, that they could have cut some of his screaming out, but overall, I thought it had some good action scenes here. A couple really good suspenseful scenes. And I will agree, I will admit though the one thing that was a little stupid was the advertisements for the film. When you do see the film, some of those shots were basically the last 30 seconds of the movie. I remember watching it at the theater and I was like, "Oh, you're telling me those ads I saw involve the last 30 seconds of the film?" I hate when they do that. Well, it's not the only film they've done it for. They've done it with a lot of films. When you see the movie, you're basically like, oh my god, the advertisements I saw and contained scenes that were basically in the last minute of 30 seconds. So I'll admit that was. I felt a little ticked off, but I didn't hate the movie overall. The effects were really good. And especially the volcano eruption was pretty. And especially the underwater sequence was pretty damn suspenseful, I'll admit. When they crash underwater, they have to get out. I mean, I kind of knew they were gonna make it out anyway, but a couple of the characters you didn't know what was gonna happen. I'll admit it was a well done scene overall, though. I'll admit. So overall, my ranking. If I had to rank the films, I would put the first one is my favorite. Second favorite would be. This one better than the first? In a way, it is. I'll admit. I would put the original '93 film first. I would put Fallen Kingdom second. I would put Jurassic World as number 3. I thought this was my mom and friend when we saw it, they thought it wasn't as good. I respectfully disagree. I thought I enjoyed it better. So yeah, I put Fallen Kingdom as number 3. I'd put Jurassic Park 3 as number 4. Like I said, even though I had fun with it, I mean, they could switch places, 3 and Jurassic World. I kind of flipped places between them, but for now I'm putting 3 as my 4th favorite. Not that it's bad, but it doesn't really have replay value to it, I guess, as Jurassic World does. Jurassic World does have some replay value to it. Just because, like I said, that has more replay value. Jurassic Park 3 doesn't really have as much of a replay value. I guess, I don't know. I could change my mind. I've flip-flopped between 3 and World a couple times before. And then my least favorite, definitely, without a doubt, is Jurassic Park 2 Lost World. I just can't get into it. Sorry, guys. For those who like Lost World, I can't get into it. I can't enjoy it really that much. It doesn't have as much enjoyment as the other 4 at all, basically. But what was I thinking? Oh, and also, the main reason why I put World over 3 is, like I said, not that. I guess because World did do some things, try to do differently, like trying to have like an amusement park based on dinosaurs. Because it did do some things differently and new, try to do things new, and like I said, I'm really torn between. I said, I always flip flop 3 and World, which one's better, but originally, World was my second favorite, but Fallen Kingdom overtook it, basically. That's why, basically. And overall, no, so but Lost World will always pretty much be my least favorite. I just I couldn't get any enjoyment out of it, really. Except for those few scenes I noticed, and the cast was alright, but other than that, and the few scenes I mentioned earlier, but that's really all I could have enjoyed. That's really all I liked about it, really, but anyway, that's pretty much it. So, If you agree, disagree with my choices, comment down below. And agree, disagree, and yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Oh my god, I've been talking for 30 minutes already. Man, time flies when I make these videos, I guess. But whatever, catch you guys later. Bye.